Good evening. I'm just going to use this time as like doing a video diary of what I have been considering, what's kind of rattling around inside my head. So today I called the local food shelf because I want to bring my students in for a tour and to learn about the food shelf. But there was another thing about it as well. The thing is that we are headed into November, and with all the political stuff that has been going on during the month of November, all the people that are on food stamps or SNAP will not be getting that benefit during November. So the other thing I wanted to talk to the food shelf about is I think the best way to actually have a positive impact is to bring it to my church and encourage them to do something that will help the food shelf. The food shelf told me that, in fact, that for every dollar that a person donates, they can buy $3 worth of food. So the money gets stretched farther because of where they can get the food from. They also have a great need for hygiene and paper products, toilet paper, shampoo, dish detergent, and they are anticipating a large demand, and they're going to need more volunteer help. So there's all of these things, and I think what we should be doing is pulling together a special sacrificial offering of thanks. They are just finishing up bringing in their harvest, so it shows a gratitude for God's abundance in providing for the farmers with a good harvest. It's a way for us to do that extra offering of thanksgiving, and it's also a way to bring home that message of we grow all this food here out on these farms to feed the world. We also need to help feed our community. So I think all of those themes can tie together really well. And this doesn't have to then be about left versus right politically. It's not about laying blame any place as to why somebody needs this service or what role the government should have. It is just saying, hey, it has been identified that there are hundreds of thousands of people out there that need help. Let's just roll up our sleeves and let's get to work. I don't know how much the congregation will be generous. I'm hoping they will be. But it really shows that putting into practice what we are being taught in the Bible. I'm not going to try to advocate for them to be stepping up at a heightened level continually. But we do know that there is this critical piece right now. I suspect that the SNAP benefit will be in place for December. They'll continue to argue about it and how they're going to revamp it. But that's not where I see the church needing to get involved. Individual people in the congregation, they can do that all they want. But I want to just steer my congregation that I'm serving to, let's put into practice loving our neighbor and trying to meet a critical need at a critical time. One thing I have learned is that the people out in the country, they have a better sense of community and cohesion as far as knowing who their neighbors are locally, and they are much quicker to step up, step in, and help people in those critical times of need. Whether it's helping a woman who is a new widow get the crops in for her farm to be sustained, or whether it's about at some point getting the crops out in a time where there's been a disaster of some kind. That happens. People step up and help their neighbor. This is talking about getting people mobilized for people in their area. It isn't about, saying, well, everybody in the world is your neighbor. No, this is about locally. Most critical help that people need, it comes from a local network of support. Having friends and family and church connections can do so much for helping people navigate life and be supported. Not necessarily financially supported, but helping them over those little struggles and hurdles that can be so devastating. So that is where my excitement is today. Yes, I'm going to be taking my kids, the confirmation kids, with their mentors to the food shelf, but I also want to mobilize the congregation to step up and step in. Let's show that we have a community that cares, that we as a faith community care, and we take serious that role. I don't know what's going to happen. People could really step forward and just fill my heart with their generosity, or they might be reluctant because they don't like things sprung on them. They want to do it a little more structured. This particular congregation is a little more structured than the previous places I have been, so they do kind of have a little bit of that bureaucracy there. But I'm really guessing that in fact the people will step forward. I know I'm going to put some of my own thankful offering in, and maybe even look and see how I can be helpful in other ways. Certainly, I will be helpful in helping to promote whatever the church decides to go and commit to, whether it's just a special offering and appealing to people to support it, whether it's maybe even helping with collect some items or coordinate something. I want to do this. This excites me. It's a wonderful opportunity that's come to the church. Not that I want the people to have the need, but the fact that the need is so obvious that we can see it. We're not going out looking for a need, but we have a need that is right in front of us that we can in fact step forward. I have a lot of excitement for this. One way or another, I will be supporting some sort of offering of gratitude and feeding my neighbor during this month. And yeah, I'd love to see what happens with this congregation moving forward. And wherever you are, I encourage you, when you come across a need that you become aware of one, that you are also able to step forward into that and provide assistance. Sometimes you'll come across a need that is not appropriate to step into, because in the long run it's not helpful. The food shelf for this month is one where we're not interfering with things, we're not promoting dependence, we're just dealing with a short-term crisis that will then be worked out longer term outside of that arena. And it's hard to know what types of situations really are helpful to people and what kind of enable bad behavior or enable them to not do what they need to grow and become independent. And with that, I wish you a very good and blessed evening. Amen.